Hey guys, Mr. Brewer, gonna bring you your next lecture series, The Governments of East Asia, part 1 of 2. Just so you remember, make sure you stop the notes, you record, or you pause, you back up, you do what you need. This time, all your notes will be in red, and they will be underlined in the PowerPoint, just so you know. Let's make sure we get everything we need. So, our goals for the lesson. Are going to be learn how East Asia governments have changed throughout history and know how these changes affect culture going forward. China, we're going to look at some of the history of the government, and I know we've already talked about some of that. At first they had emperors, and they were just kind of states of fighting amongst each other. And then we had dynasties. That's like the Qin, who brought us the Great Wall, and Han, who brought us the Silk Road. After World War II, China becomes communist. You remember they ran out the nationalists. The nationalists go to Taiwan, make the Republic of China, and China is renamed to the People's Republic of China, which I will just call Big China in these videos. Because of their belief in communists, their economy has suffered due to the Cold War later, which we're going to talk about in video 2. And today, they are actually moving from a command economy, which is totalitarianism, where the government decides what each industry does, into a capitalist economy, which at the end of this video, we're going to give you a good overview of what capitalist economy looks like. Taiwan now. We're talking about the little part of China. We're talking about Republic of China. This is the little island with Taipei. They were ruled by Japan, right? After World War II, they were given to China. They get ran off. The nationalists are in China. They get ran off. The communists take over, and they move to Taiwan and have the Republic of China, which is Little China. And that's what happens in the rebel. PRC is Public Republic of China, which is Big China, and the Republic of China, ROC, is Taiwan. Today they are democratic. And you see there I put in ROC because China, Big China, is still communist today. They've been democratic since the 1980s, and they are a capitalist society. They took many of their constitutional cues from the U.S., which means many of the things that are in their constitution and what they believe in came from the U.S., and actually one of the leaders who brought them into democracy was educated in the U.S. And today, even though they have completely different values as Big China, we still recognize them as part of China. So we still say China, Taiwan, all one place. That's why it's in parentheses up top also. So North Korea. North Korea's had an interesting existence as well as Taiwan. Like China, it became communist after World War II. And it was actually on the 38th parallel. You remember we talked about that in the video. 38th parallel after World War II. Russia took control of the north side, and the United States helped the south side become democratic. So we have North Korea, communist, led by Russia, and they remain very strict communists today, so very totalitarianism. Now, because of it, their people have suffered greatly. I mean, they have famine pretty constantly there, and things that we take for granted, like personal technology, like what we're using to get this lecture series to you, they don't have that. They have no real technology, very little running water, things like that in their homes. They've really suffered because of the Cold War, actually. And they have remained a command economy, which means that the government tells them what they're going to make. Now, South Korea, on the other hand, we talked about it being divided on the 38th parallel. It is democratic. It's been democratic since after World War II. The citizens enjoy a democratic process, voting and electing their leaders. And they're actually one of the leaders in, and that says Taiwan. That is wrong. This is supposed to say South Korea. Make sure you change that on your notes. South Korea is a world power in exports such as integrated circuits and cruise ships. Interesting enough. I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit. Japan, on the other hand, we have kind of an interesting thing. After World War II, they were absolutely devastated, right? First, they started with warring states. They were colonized by China, They have some warring states, kind of the same deals we have in China. Then they have emperors, and a long succession of emperors we heard. I think 125 was the number we decided on. And then after World War II, they're devastated, so they come up with this constitutional monarchy. Now, they're constitutional, but yet they still have a figurehead as kind of a dynastic leader. They enjoy the democratic process today. They elect most of their leaders. And today we've seen them become the innovators of technology and industry, such as they are very tightly, densely packed there, and they make some very small cars. And small cars were actually an innovation brought on by Japan, because we know in Texas as well as the United States that we think everything bigger is better. But if you're like me and you go fill up your car and it costs you $60, you start seeing the innovation of Japan being a pretty great thing. And I like those small cars now that get 30 or 40 miles to gallon. Japan's economy today, and this is capitalist altogether. This is capitalist, we should add. And the capitalist economy is consumers decide how they'll spend their money, so they decide who and when and where, and producers make money by satisfying that consumer demand. It's a supply and demand business. They supply something, either consumers buy it or they don't. If they don't, they fail. And efficient businesses offer the highest quality goods at lowest prices, and this is what we enjoy in America as well as what they enjoy in Japan and South Korea. Appreciate you taking your time looking at this. If you need to go back, make sure you do so and get everything in red taken care of. Appreciate it.